Hey, Katt.
Hey Sam.
So, welcome back, everyone. Not that any of our episodes are particularly well, they are structured, they might not seem it, but I feel like this one is like extra non-structured, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, this is our first wing it episode.
Yeah, because we had like, there was a few topics, like mainly me sort of being a bit ditzy brain. I was like, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, let's talk about this. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, my brain is fried. Let's just word vomit. Let's just chat.
Yeah, we should just chat. I think like we were just talking a minute ago, weren't we? And I was like, you were like, just start recording because
Yeah,
you might as well
because
just
it's probably all it's going to be, isn't it? Just us chatting. But in that, I think that hopefully it's quite relatable for people because we're not going to be talking about like one specific. I don't know. I guess not that we ever are really. Great start, but I just thought it'd be good to kind of give an insight on us.
yeah, just
Really?
just where we're at, really.
Yeah. Maybe we should start with treatment because we've both probably got some things to say on that,
Yeah, no.
like treatment updates kind of thing.
Yeah, because I was going to do a post about mine.
Mm.
'Cause I don't know what I said in. I think I just had my treatment when I did the post I wrote last time. But I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to do a bit of a follow up on it just for Aquavus because I definitely know I've been noticing a difference in how I'm feeling. And like
Mm.
that could be put down to just the fact that I'm not in crippling pain with my back injury and just do you know what I mean? It could be
A few things,
coincidental.
yeah.
Um but I think so I had my treatment. For the first 2 weeks I just felt really crap and just ill. Then the third week, oh my God, I don't even know what happened. Like I just felt like I was getting even worse, and all my MS symptoms were flaring up as well. And I was just like, okay, this is this is not what's meant to be
Mm.
happening. This is not what happened last time. And then it was almost like overnight, like it peaked. It was like there was one evening where I was just like, I literally feel like I'm dying. Like I can't talk, I can't move. I just feel so ill. And then I went to sleep, and then the next day I sort of woke up and was like, oh, feel a little bit better today. And then like the following 2 days, I just felt even better. And then I was like, oh, my brain feels clearer. Like that's what I've noticed. It's like my cognitive stuff, even though it's still terrible for so many reasons. It's like, I don't know, like for example, yesterday I felt like myself 2.5 years
Mm.
ago, but just with obviously added symptoms that are there all the time. Um, but it's like, yeah, it's the brain fog side of it. Like it's like I can think a little bit more, and I've got
Yeah.
just like that fraction more energy. And this is actually what Buster said to me like before I started my treatment, and he said he described it like this. It's like you just get like a tiny little bit more whatever it is that just makes you able to kind of function a tiny bit more. So
Mm.
it's like, yeah, I don't know how, placebo that is. But I can definitely feel a difference in myself, I would say. But it'll be interesting to see as the months go on, obviously in the lead up to my third dose, kind of
Mm.
how I'm feeling. Because I
Yeah, because
think,
how long ago now was it you had the first one? Well, like the one just gone, sorry, not the first one. But
when did I have it, mate? I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks ago
I was
now.
about to say maybe about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. But it's like it's
Mm.
weird because last time, like I remember feeling like this as well, but I think because I had so much stuff going on, like with my back and that, still it kind of got lost. I still
Yeah.
felt crap in general, so it kind of I did notice it, but probably not as much. But then at the same time, I didn't really notice myself getting worse in air
Mm.
quotes towards the treatment. But then actually after having the treatment, I would say I feel better. So it's like I don't know.
Mm.
It's just I don't know what
Yeah,
how.
I've heard like I've seen a lot of good success stories of people with Rockfist where they say like they have like a shitty sort of month, maybe a month and a half, like just before it, just after it kind of thing. And
Mm,
then they have like a great 5 months or whatever. But everyone's different, aren't they? That's the thing. I
yeah.
always think it's easy to read like success stories and like
Yeah.
idolize them, and think, I want that because I want that. But you never know how it's going to be for you, do you?
Well, that's it. I think I was so I play so much. Like I've got to stop turning away from the microphone. Um, I think in my head, I was like, right, Ocrevus is the one for me. It's going to, solve all my problems. It's going to stop me having relapses, and it's easy. Just stick it in your arms every 6 months at the hospital. And actually it's like, it's not really that straightforward at all. And like you say, everyone's different. Everyone's body's going to react to treatment differently. And actually you're essentially putting like poison into your body that's like destroying parts of like your immune system. So I don't know, I think
it's not going to come without its issues.
yeah, and I think you read, like you said, like you hear about all these like amazing success stories, and everyone's like, oh, I get no side effects like whatsoever, and there's me with like clumps of hair falling out and like feeling like I'm dying for a couple of months, like. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, like I think it's doing some good. That's what I think. But like I say, it'll be interesting to sort of see what happens over the next 6 months. And
I'm really interested to see like the stages sort of thing that you go through.
Yeah, hopefully it'll just give me a bit of time to get on. I just want to do my work, mate. Like that's literally all I want at the moment. I want to read books, do my work, do this podcast, and do some writing on MS. And
it's finding a balance though, isn't it? Because it's so easy the moment that you feel good, relatively good, to just like full steam ahead.
Oh yeah.
Be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and like burn out or get sick again. And I feel like I know that is something that you are probably going to be guilty of.
Yeah.
With like, oh, I'm having a really good day today. I'm going to do this, and this. Like,
well, mate, it was like me, like
I'm going to drive an hour and a half away.
That's what I did yesterday. So I was like, the day before, I was like, oh, I've just decided I'm just going to drive to Lincoln and like have the day in Lincoln, which was the best thing ever. And I feel like, I know we said we'll talk about like grief and stuff on a sort of a longer episode in future, and I would quite like to talk about.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot to probably say, isn't there?
Yeah, like yesterday was just so basically, for anyone that doesn't know, I drove down to where I used to live, went in my early 20s, and I spent like 3 very happy years there. I mean, obviously I was still poorly at the time, but like it was kind of, I don't know, it's my early 20s. It was when I was sort of growing into myself a little bit, and like it was just, I don't know, I just had such an urge to just go back there, and it was such a beautiful day, and it was just so amazing, but at the same time it was so full of grief and so intense, and like, yeah, I will definitely talk about it in future, but yeah, just I'm definitely feeling it today, like you say, Sam. I'm exhausted. Like,
but then, I mean, would it really be one of our podcasts if we didn't refer to a meme or something? But I feel like all that quote, like, I'm constantly torn between don't let this illness control your life to you need to rest or whatever. Have you seen that thing, where it says, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's like, balancing, fuck it, do what you want, live your life, and actually like listen to your body, rest up. And it's hard. It's a hard balance to find.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling this morning.
Because when I'm feeling crap, I'm like, I need to rest. I need to listen to my body. But then when I'm feeling good, I'm like, now let's go. Like, it's hard to think the other way when you're in the other position. Like, when I'm feeling really bad, I can't be like, oh, I'm just going to push through. But equally, when I'm feeling really good, I'm not just going to be like, I'm just going to chill. Like,
yeah, I was on one yesterday. I didn't realise that I'd had a coffee in the morning, because I've introduced caffeine back in now. So I have one in the mornings, which I allow myself. But then I had a Starbucks on the way and didn't ask for it decaf and forgot. And I was there with me and fucking driving, like listening to the Glee soundtrack, but like blaring out. Like
driving past would have been like,
honestly, I was like dance moves and everything, and I was like, what is wrong with me? And then I was like, oh my god, it's because I've had so much caffeine. And then by the time I was driving back, I was like, I need to get home. Like, I'm literally crashing so hard. But yeah, I feel like Ocrevus gave me the energy to be able to have yesterday, and like for that I'm so grateful. Like,
yeah,
it was needed. It was very, very needed. But yeah, what's going on with your treatment, Mahan?
I'm in such a mood with mine.
I love how I'm asking as if I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm in such a mood. Like, I just feel like it's been a bit of a week. Like, it's like a lot of little things that just sort of then like pile up. Not little, but like it's like a lot of things have contributed to this like mood. I mean, that probably is just heightened by the heat. But like, Tuesday, I had a complete meltdown, which I'll come back to because it does relate to my treatment. I had a complete meltdown and just like sobbed and cried and cried and got myself so worked up and triggered like the most worst nerve pain ever. So it came Tuesday and I was just hell. And then Wednesday was like slightly better than the day before, but then the heat came and just like amped it again. So now again today I'd say is slightly better than it has been, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And I'm just, so it's like a vicious circle where like I'm just trying to like not think about anything that stresses me because it is making it worse, like nerve pain and like fatigue, you know, everything. So, but basically I've completely lost track of days because I haven't been at work for 3 weeks. What I've been in the hospital, and then I had the following week off sick, and then this week just gone was like pre-booked annual leave that me and Frank had. So I feel like these 3 weeks are just a blur. But basically, I reached out to my MS team on Tuesday because I think I last spoke to them Friday, and she was like, you know, blah blah, we're really trying to find you somewhere, like the same shit they spout every time. And so she was like, if you do want to, like, you know, keep in touch with us, like ping us an email and we'll of course let you know where it's at. And she was like, she named herself and this other MS nurse that are kind of like the people that are managing it. So she was like, if you address the email to us, one of us two, then we'll get back to you. And even if we don't have, you know, like she really was like, honestly, please don't feel like you shouldn't reach out. So Tuesday I reached out because I just feel so in limbo. Like, I don't, like, they're like, you need to strictly self-isolate. And I'm like, but for how fucking long? Like, you
Mate,
know.
I'm supposed to be shielding. I'm not supposed to have left
Yeah.
my house for like the last month. I've
Yeah,
been
but they're
YOLOing
like,
down to Lincoln.
like to the point where they've wrote a letter like to like it's our employee as well for Frank to be at home.
Wow.
Like that, because they're like, we need, if a cancellation comes up, we don't want to have to tell you that you need to isolate for like 14 days before we let you in. We wanted to be able to let you in.
Yeah.
So I reached out Tuesday, and then one of the other nurses came back to me, who I do usually like, but she just was like, we're still trying, like, blah, blah, we'll let you know if we hear anything. And I replied, and I was like, thanks, blah, blah. I'm just like, thank you. And then I sat back and I thought, well, no, it's not okay, actually, because you just pied me off again when I was told I could reach out to you, like, whenever. So I got myself all het up and sent another email straight afterwards. And I was like, actually, it's not okay. And I was like, I've been so patient and so understanding. And I get that you're not doing this on purpose. I was like, but I just feel like there's been no compassion towards the fact of like my mental health or anything, like for me having to just live life waiting to just drop things, because last time it was just can you come in tomorrow or can you come in today, like, you know. And so she rang me and she just reiterated the same stuff. To be honest, there was one thing she said which is going to really annoy you. Like, I bit my tongue because I was just like, whatever. But she was like, it's stressful for us too, you know, Sam, because they're trying their hardest to arrange it. I was like, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, she was
I
like,
just, no,
yeah.
just no. Like, I'm not being funny.
I was like, but I get that, and I've been understanding about that. So why can't I have the same back? Why can't you? Like, I feel like it's because the NHS will never admit fault. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, we're sorry, this is really crappy for you.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but there's a difference between stress at work and stress that you're potentially without treatment for your progressive neurological condition.
I'm just like I don't know, like, don't go, because problem is, like, it's not like I am strictly self-isolating, because if I'm being brutally honest, it's not because I'm that concerned that I'm going to go get COVID-19 from my friends or anyone like that. I don't feel that way. But I got like, in case anyone didn't follow the story, like, I went to go have it done and I had an infection, like a normal everyday infection, so they couldn't do it. So that's my concern, that I'm like, well, I do need to follow it strictly, because there's a lot of stuff going around because no one's been, you know, like we've been so cooped up for so long. Like, of course I've got a lowered immune system anyway. Like, I'm gonna catch things, and I'm like, I can't like risk that happening again. Like, no way. So I'm just like, so do you want me to just like stay at home for the rest of my life?
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, obviously, your treatment is different to mine in that I've just obviously just said that I've been YOLOing, but I haven't been YOLOing. But I obviously haven't been.
About being sensible, isn't
I'm
it?
I'm not staying in my house for 3 months, and I'm not even allowed to go for a walk according to the letter I have. Like, I'm sorry, but that
To be
is not.
fair, I don't think after I have Lemtrada that I'd do it for like, well, I suppose we don't know what the situation's going to be, but
Yeah,
it's just about being sensible, isn't it?
yeah, and I think
But
it's
at the
like,
moment, my concern is getting a like non-COVID-19 infection,
yeah, yeah,
because
no,
the infection they sent me away for was apparently a UTI, which, you know, you can't control that. You
yeah,
can't like
yeah,
catch
no,
those, can you? They're not contagious,
no,
I don't think.
definitely. No, and I understand why you're, like you say, it's first of all is the stress of having to wait for your treatment, because I don't know about you, but for me it was like I was just like, nah, I want to be covered. Like, my MS is not very nice, and I want to be on a treatment. So that was stress. But then, like you say, all the stress of having to rearrange your whole life, not
Yeah,
only you, Frank as well. And it's like that, you know, what you went through the other week was horrendous. Like, and that is so stressful. And it's like, I find it so hilariously ironic that they're like, you know, stress is the worst thing, one of the worst things for our
yeah.
illness, and the amount of stress we've been put through. Like, I know there is a lot going on in this world, but
Exactly, and in that they make you feel really like. But then I'm like, oh, am I making a big deal about
no, mate, you're
nothing?
not.
Like, am I
Like,
just being like
no,
silly?
because I feel like that as well. And it's like, actually, no. What I feel like, you know how I feel about this. I've spoken
Mm,
about it. It's like, just because our illness isn't going to kill us on the spot or isn't like deadly, does not mean that it's not urgent and it shouldn't be prioritized. And caring about your own health and wanting what's best for you, and having the treatment that is going to, you know, affect the quality of life for the rest of your life.
mm.
You know, obviously we're going to be bothered about that. And for them to be, for that lady to say to you, it's stressful for me too, I'm sorry, but it is nowhere near as stressful as it is for MS patients that are having their treatment taken off of them. Yeah,
And then, so then she sent this letter like to the employees around like supporting home working and stuff like that, blah blah, for us both. But and this is no like this wasn't their fault or anything, like this was just hard facts. But you know, like when you're already in a bit of a mood,
mm-hmm.
and then you like, and this letter was like had like different points, and the first point was like brutal, like hard, like Sam has aggressive, active, relapse and remitting MS. She has failed. Like, then it listed every relapse that I've had in 5 years, like the dates. And then it said she's failed already 2 previous treatments, and it listed like the other tablets. And then it was like she needs this treatment to whatever the word is, like prevent, or whatever they said, like further future disability and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And you know when you're just in a bad mood anyway, and I was just like, oh, I'm so ill.
Hey,
I was
bless
like, oh.
her.
And then that sort of triggered, like, it's like a snowball effect this week. But then what day is it? Saturday today. So maybe like Thursday, I just was like, well, what's the fucking point? Not what's the point, but I don't know. I just kind of couldn't get the thought out of my head that they're like pre-pandemic, it'd be, yeah, before, not post, yeah,
Yeah.
pre-pandemic. It's like they're so strict that Lemtrada must be delivered 12 months after each
Uh-huh.
other. And like, yeah, okay, they probably have this like research that can be extended, but I think that's come from where people have fallen pregnant or other like one-off things that have got in the way where they've had to shift it. But
Mm-hmm.
in general, every meeting I've ever had, like they are so strict that 12 months is the key to like knocking it back down again, you know, to not letting it go too far. But in my head, I'm just like, well, is it even going to work? Do you know, like, you know, and I know there's no way of saying that. This is just the mood that I've been in lately. But I'm just a bit like, well, is it already fucked? Like, I don't know. And again, it's back to idolizing like treatments, because Lemtrada, I was like, I've heard so many success stories and people instantly feel better like after round one and blah blah. And I relapsed like going into round one, and then was really poorly, like probably the worst I've been like in the recovery for that. And then I relapsed again this year. I don't know. I'm just a bit like, well, I want Ocrevus. If I'm idolizing that, like, I don't know. So I've kind of got to the point where there's no answers, is there? Like, I don't, no one knows what's going to happen with this like illness, and I don't know whether it's going to work or not. So because my pain and everything, brain fog's been so bad, I'm just like kicked that thought out of my brain, and whatever will be will be.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad place to be at, because I've kind of got in my head that, well, if they go ahead, well, actually, so mini story to why I've got to the point where I feel like there's a chance I might not have it, is because the BBC published an article on Adam Brooks saying that they were in dire need, and they were 1,800 people backlogged for treatments and surgeries, and that they were having to open up all their private areas of the hospital. Surgeries were opening weekends as well to try and reduce it. So I was like, oh wow, like obviously I knew I wasn't the only one anyway, which is why I was being so understanding. But like you said, there's a you're still entitled to be pissed off about it. So now, and they're saying like they hope to be up to date by like February next year. But I mean, for someone that's waiting like a knee surgery, like, yeah, that's really shit. It is, but like, well, I don't really know that much about that sort of thing. But I'm gonna run out of time, like come September, they're gonna be like, and I'm already at the point where it's pushing it for the 6 months. Like, so come September, they're gonna be like, well. So in my head, I'm like, because I've seen people on the Lemtrada group say that their neuros were like, well, let's just swap you onto something else. So I think I've kind of got to the point now where I'm like, well, I'm not going to be heartbroken if they don't do it, because there's always something else, isn't there? Yeah. I mean, I say that now, probably will be. I probably will be, but
the thing is, they have all these, like you said, they have all these like strict protocols and all these things, hoops you have to jump through, and and then they go back on what they've said, and they'll be like, oh, you'll be all right, because they said the same with Ocrevus, and I think it's slightly different, but they were like, oh, actually, it'll still be in your system, and I'm like, yeah, but that goes against everything I've like read and heard about people saying that they get to month 5 and they're feeling really crappy, and you're telling me that it's all right to extend it for another 3 months. Like, I'm a bit like, like, are you just saying that? Like, because like you said, that's not what they were saying before. So what, like, it's almost like it's just to suit what they're saying,
I went on like a WebEx, a Zoom thing with the CEO of the MS Trust on Wednesday.
Nice.
And there was another young girl on there, and she said like that she takes Ocrevus, but hers was 4 months behind now.
Oh, wow.
With no sight of it being booked in. And she was like, but like, I think the problem is that some people, I think they confused it with the NHS. Like, what can he really do, sort of thing, like, apart from advise you to talk to your MS team, sort of thing. But it just shows everywhere. And then he said something to her like, oh no, you need to push, because once you have that, like, basically he was like, no, push to get started on that. And she was like, no, I've been on it for like a year and a half. She was like, this is a delay because of COVID-19. He was like, oh, like,
like, to me, that is just not okay. Like, I don't understand why they treat MS patients as if there's no, like I say, there's no urgency. And I read somewhere, it was like, time is brain. And it's like, that is literally the situation for us. Like, a relapse is not just a little thing. It's not like a little blip, and they make out that it's like, oh, you can have, you might have a relapse. It's like, no, I don't want to have a relapse, thanks. That's my brain tissue you're talking about. Like, if it was your brain tissue, I'm pretty sure that you'd be pretty annoyed that, like, and again, it's like, I had my treatment and then they took it away from me, and it was like, what? No, like, please give me that back, because I don't want to have any more relapses. And that, oh, but it's not terminal though. And it's like, that doesn't make it any better. And it seems to not be like massively prioritized. But the thing I would say is, and I know I always say this to you, Sam, I say this to everyone, I'm like, just keep calling them. I know it sounds bad, and I'm the same in that I don't like to be a problem. I don't, I'm quite chill with things. But actually, to me, this is something I feel so strongly about, is treatment for MS. And when I see people not getting their treatment, it actually genuinely upsets me, because it's like, it's just not fair.
And it annoys, like, I think I said to him before, I was like, I feel like I know the answer, but I'd be stupid for not asking it. I was like, but can I not have it done at my local hospital? Because for me, like, in Hitchin, Kings Lynn is only like half an hour away max, like with traffic. Whereas Cambridge is like 2 hours, maybe more, like with traffic. And they said at the time, they were like, oh no, we can't, because there has to be a specialist, like it's specialized for people that are trained in delivering it, blah blah, which I get, like that's why they're there. But at this point now, they're telling me they're so desperate to find somewhere in Addenbrooke's to do it, which clearly indicates that they are available to do it. Why can't they fucking travel? Why can't they travel each day to Kings Lynn rather than me going to them? Because I know well, I say I know for a fact, I assume that Kings Lynn has a lot more availability, because a few people around me that are having like minor surgeries and stuff like that have been booked in for August. So if they're getting booked in for their minor surgeries, that indicates to me that Kings Lynn do have the space. So why can't I have it? Do you know what? I've only probably just thought about that now. I think I might email him it. Like, I feel like Kings Lynn has the space. Like, can one of you lot not travel? They won't though. They won't. They'll say, well, we need to have a specialist neurologist, a doctor. And I'm like, well, Kings Lynn might not have like the funding to, like, I don't know, but I'm sure Kings Lynn has a neurologist somewhere in the building.
Yeah, I would say at this point, the urgency is getting your treatment. Like, that is the priority. And like, another thing that pains me is that the fear so many MS patients have of COVID, and people, I've seen people saying, I'm not having my treatment because I'm scared that I'm going to catch COVID, or my neurologist has said I'm at risk. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like to me, obviously I'm talking personally, but prioritizing slowing down my brain damage, weighing up against the likeliness of me catching COVID, because the chances are I'm probably not going to. I mean, I can't say that I would never, but I don't, all I do is really go out to the supermarket and see a few of my friends and wash my hands regularly. And it's like, the fact that people are so scared they're going to die of COVID, that they're not having their treatment. And it's like, it might be okay for now, but like, I just don't feel like it's explained to patients, like, what the implications are of not dealing with that, like, and not putting.
That's, I mean, like the compassion side of it as well. Like, no one in the team has once like said to me, like, even from back in April when it was delayed, no one's once said, oh, it's been delayed for this reason. It's just assumptions that you make, or they're delaying it because they're scared of the risk. And like, and to be fair, the one that did ring me, she did say, she was like, we're not, Addenbrooke's isn't overloaded with COVID-19 anymore. It's overload. It just doesn't have a bed because so many treatments were delayed.
Yeah.
And I guess because neurology, for them, I think the one ward that they did do it on is a COVID ward, and then so all the other ward, it's basically like, I do feel sorry for them, like in terms of like work shit, because their ward got taken over and no one else seems to want to help them. But that's not my problem. Like,
I my stepmom's a nurse, one of my best friends is an A&E nurse, and I know that it's stressful as fuck. Like, dealing with everything that's going on. But like you say, there's a difference between work stress, which is not great, but actually the stress for MS patients it's just I was in that limbo, not for as long as you were, but even in between my treatments, I was sitting around like twiddling my thumbs, thinking, like kind of a bit worried about this, like you know, because mine's been pretty aggressive as well, and it's like again, it's like I don't know, I just wish that it was like that they were more realistic about it. And I did say to one of my MS nurses the other week, and I was like, because you know how I feel about early intervention and getting on DMDs and like hitting it early. And I said to her, and I was like, you know, why is there so many problems with this, and why are people denied treatment? Because in my personal opinion, every single person with MS should be on a treatment, even if they don't have any symptoms. If you've got, you know, bands in your spinal fluid and you have a diagnosis of MS, get on a treatment, because you might not have symptoms now. I didn't have any symptoms really up until the last 4 years. All from early 20s I was fine, but I still had MS at this point, and the MS was still doing damage. So, you know, if you've got a diagnosis, you need to be on treatment. And I said this to her, and she was like, I completely agree with you. She was like, but I'm so sorry, Katt, it literally just comes down to money. And I was just like, that's the most heartbreaking thing. Like, the amount of times I've cried about this and about other people not getting treatment and, you know, not getting a diagnosis, or not, because it's so important to have your treatment and to be covered, and even if you're undiagnosed, to get a fucking diagnosis and get that shit under control. And like with all this COVID stuff and them sort of being fanning around with our treatments, it's like, oh yeah, it's only MS, like, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, it's not terminal, so it's fine, they can just wait. Oh, they might have a couple of relapses like in between, but it'll be fine. And it's like, we both know that you know, a relapse could mean, you know, some severe permanent disability, and we are young, like we do not want that. So
and as well, my B12 needs, like, I haven't been having that injection, and I did say to them the other day, and they said that if I can, you know, I don't know, think about getting one of the MS team to write the doctors a letter or something, because I don't think that helps, because it's not easy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, when you feel like this, like when you feel shit, it's hard to remember when you didn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the moment, I just feel like I felt shit for too long, and not like, some days have been like really, really bad, but I'm not talking like, oh, it's been so bad for so long. I've just felt shit, like crappy. But then I think, well, have I, or is it just because I'm having like a bit of a week, you know? But I think maybe it's my B12 as well, like little things like that.
And anyway,
why are they not letting me just go to my GPs to have that done? I went there for a blood test the other day.
Like regardless, all these little things are things that help you manage your MS. So, and like, even having that withheld, like, it's not the same as having your DMD withheld from you, but it's still another thing that is like,
might help with like, like things like my fatigue and brain fog, you know, like little bits like that, maybe.
And all these little things, we talked about this before, didn't we? Like, all the things we put in place for ourselves with all this COVID stuff, everything's just been blown out the water, and we're just expected to just be like, oh, it's fine, they look fine, they'll be all right. Like, and I'm like, no, like, that to me, that's just not okay. And then I feel really bad because I'm so fucking opinionated about it, and I'm literally like, ring your fucking hospital now and get your MS nurse on the phone, and if not, ring your neurologist, because unless you do that, you just get lost in the system. And
it made me laugh so much, sorry, on Buster's one, where you said something about being opinionated, and he said, he was like, it's not called being opinionated, it's called being right. Like, yeah.
Well, but that's the thing, I doubt myself, because I don't know, my new thing at the moment is that I have got like this new kind of like, I don't know, like Gina, what does she call me? She's like, calls me little warrior. It's like it's come out of nowhere, because I was always just shut up and sit down. Shut up, sit down, don't talk, like you're wrong all the time, my whole life. And all of a sudden I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually not. So I'm probably gonna like talk about my opinions. And yeah, like, I don't know, like yesterday this guy this guy had to go at me because I'd opened my car door onto his car, mate. And like, you know, when you open a car door, and if there's a car really close to your car, this is total tangent. I'd like open my car door and it like rested my car door on his car.
Yeah.
Because I was like putting a plaster on my blister, and he literally came over and just stood and was like, "You scratched my car." And I was like, I went, "What?" And he went, "Look, you've damaged it." He went, "Look, it's all there." I went, "There is literally nothing there." I was like, I did this so carefully. And he was like, and then he started, I can't remember what he said. He told me to shut up, I think. And when he did that, I was like, and then he tried to shut
So
my car door.
rude.
He tried to shut my car door on me, mate. So I fucking forced it back open. And I was like, "Don't talk to me like that." I was like, "Do you think it's okay to talk to me like that?" And he was like, he like muttered to me else. I was like, "It's not my fault, you're an idiot." And he literally clenched his fists. And I was like thinking, what are you going to do? Hit me on. But it's like, I would never have dared stick up for myself like that. I would have been like, "Oh, you know, like, sorry." But I'm sorry. He was just trying to be, he was
Pick a
trying to,
fight.
yeah, he was trying to assert authority on some random girl in a car park to make himself feel better. And I just thought, no, you know what, fuck off. Like, and I am, like, everyone, all my friends keep joking that I'm just so savage at the moment. But I don't think it's that I'm savage. I think it's that I'm just like honest, and that it's like, if I like I say, I was always sort of, it's been conditioned into me over the years that my opinion and my knowledge doesn't count for anything. And actually, I think I'm quite well educated on a few things, but especially our illness. And I do enough research, and then I'll read in groups and stuff. And I think, oh, you know, am I doing the wrong thing by saying, like, you know, telling people they should have treatment? And, you know, I, at the end of the day, I do respect what people want to do with their own bodies. But what I'm talking about is based on fact and scientific fact and studies, and you know, percentages and numbers, and also living it myself. So it's kind of like, anything I'm saying to anyone is only ever coming from a place of like love and caring. I would never say something to someone just to be a dick to say it to them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, Savage Cat is in the building these days. But at the end of the day, like I say, ring, make phone calls, send emails. It doesn't matter what, you know, what they're going to do. What they can't, like, I don't know, take you off the
Not
list.
give it to me. They're not giving it to me anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? So, like, what have you got to lose? And yeah, it's annoying, and yeah, you feel like you're hassling them, but actually, it's important, and you are important. Your health and your life is important, just as every single MS patient is. And I think so many of us sort of just, you know, we'll get a letter from the neuro, or we'll get, you know, a phone call from the MS nurse, and they'll say something, and we'll just be like, oh, and just not really be allowed to question it, when actually I'm like, do you know what, I know better than that. So I'm going to question what you're saying, because what you're saying is actually putting us at risk, essentially. And to me, that's completely unacceptable. And I don't, you know, I know that there's reasons why, and I know there's a lot going on in hospitals and stuff at the moment, but our illness is important and needs treatment, and our health is important, and we're important as individuals. That's just my opinion.
On that note, I'm in so much pain.
Oh mate, I'm so sorry.
It's my knees. Like, they're like my legs to touch, like my thigh, they feel really like numb. You know, like when you're touching it and they're just that weird sort of like sensation. And then they just feel like my blood is on fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what is your the
like that.
Yeah, describe it.
And like heat, like but like not stabbingly, but you know, it's like a really sharp sort of pain that makes your teeth cut. You know, do you know what I mean? It makes you feel like, oh, like it's just that. And then like I think some hot, and he's like sit in front of a fan or lay in a cold bath or something. Oh, that's my new favorite thing to do. Not like ice cold, but I used to love baths, but hot baths, just like, I've read that that's, you know, a common thing, like for people with MS, that hot baths are really like damaging.
Oh no,
Like,
that's
sort of,
what they used to test for MS back in the day. Did you know this?
no.
So what they used to do is if
Have
they
a hot bath.
no. If their way of testing if you had MS is they put you in a really, really hot bath, and if your symptoms kicked off, that's how they knew that you had MS. But it's true. It's like when I have a really hot shower, I'll get out and half my body won't be working. And
Yeah.
it's interesting, but
See, showers don't so much bother me. Like I have hot showers, but like when I've had a hot bath, like afterwards I'm like, oh, I fucked up. Like that was too hot. Like I feel really shit. And so I kind of like wasn't really having baths because I don't know, I was so used to that I like to have like scalding hot, like I like hot water.
yeah, same.
But now, I mean, probably because of the heat, I doubt I want to do it in the winter. But now, like a very cool, like not ice cold, not just the cold tap, but a very, very cool bath. Yeah, okay. It's not always like the most enjoyable thing at the time. Well, sometimes it is, like it depends on the weather. But oh my God, it does make me feel better.
Really? I might
Yeah, it
go with
really
that.
does. I really want to do like, too much tangent here 'cause I'm in pain, but like float therapy. Have you seen that in the tank?
Oh
Where like,
yeah.
but I really want to give that a go because I do feel like cool water does really help me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just arrived. I ordered like a massive order from Lush, loads of like bath bombs and stuff.
Oh,
So
I love
I'm excited just to lay in my cold bath. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? But it's not cold, but it really, really does like make like it doesn't so much make nerve pain go away, but I don't know, it just makes me feel better.
it.
I can't explain it.
Well, I saw someone as well that one of his things was that every morning he had an ice bath. He had MS
Yeah.
and every morning, and he was like, "Yeah, it really helps me." Like,
Yeah, to be fair, if I could have like me and Frank went to Tenerife last December and they had like a spa at the hotel and there was like one of those like water circuits, where there's like different things you can do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
one of them was like an ice cold plunge and it was like came up to about, your shoulders, really deep and just like a small circle. Frank wussed out and didn't get in it. But I did and just like plunge down. And to be fair, I think it does help, but for me to do it, it would need to be something like that. Like I don't think I could lay down in an ice cold bath. Like I need something that I can like plunge myself into and get back out again,
yeah.
which my mobility is not good enough to do that in my bath. I'd like very slip and fall. Like this had like a ladder and thing to hold on to. So
Yeah, please don't do that. I
or
don't
just my
know.
own outdoor swimming pool would be ideal. It's not much to ask,
Oh,
is it?
yes, mate. I do.
I'm a water baby. Like I love the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, a nice tepid is that what bath. So relaxing.
I feel like I might treat myself actually because I'm not gonna. It's
Yeah.
at 2 o'clock. I'm not going out today. I'm so tired from yesterday,
Yeah.
I just want ice poles. That I'm just like craving ice poles, and I put, no, you don't. It's best that's got one. It's the sheet thing.
Oh, the cooling thing.
Cooling pad.
You
Yeah,
told me about it. Yeah, I haven't got one though.
you're not supposed to put them in the freezer. Don't tell my
Oh,
mum.
you
She
know.
gave it to me and told me not to put it in the freezer. But last night I put it in the freezer, and that's best to put his in the freezer. And he was like, "Yeah, it lasts so much longer." So I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
at night. Last night was hell, like trying to get to sleep.
Yeah, it's crazy hot. But yeah, we'll give that a go and see what happens.
Mm,
Yeah, I think both of us just need a bit of a chill day today.
yeah, yeah. That's what, and especially because I feel like it's Sunday today, because we normally record on a
Yeah.
Sunday, but because it's Saturday. But that does make me feel good because I'm back at work on Monday,
Oh yeah.
and so I feel like for the rest of the day today and tomorrow, I'm just gonna chill. Like, yeah, just do nothing.
So what's going on with work then in regards to your treatment and stuff? Like when
Well,
they.
because I can work from home.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
So yeah, so I'm just gonna go back to work on Monday.
Well, that's.
Like my boss is really nice compared to my old one. And she's just like, yeah, going with the flow, she'll just whatever happens, happens. Like if I have to drop things and go one day, that's what happens. But
Oh, well, that's good.
on Monday just gone, yeah, 27th, it was my 10 years with the bank.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and they give you like they like a gift or something. I'm not sure what it is, but it better be like I think it's like has a monetary value, like, and you can pick, like, there's like a catalog maybe, and you
Ooh,
can
that's
pick. So
exciting.
yeah, so that's the, so I'm like, I'm okay, I'm back at work on Monday because I'm gonna do some hard shopping.
Oh,
She said she'll
I like
send it
it.
through, so I think it's like over 200 quid you get.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You just
so
spend it on bath bombs.
that'll cheer me up. Yeah, oh my god, £200 off bath bombs, you put them all in one go.
Love it.
I might film like the bath bombs, like I might show what I've got, and then every time I have a bath, film it like dissolving.
Oh, please do. I love those. There's like there's Instagram accounts that they're like,
Yeah,
oh, what was it called? After this, I'll send you it. It's like, so it's called something like Lush in the Forest or something. And she works in, she does something, it's to development, and literally, oh my God, like it's like she has cupboards of just like all of the Lush products. And I'm just like, I want your life. Like,
like I love their bath bombs, like I do. And then I also, the other two products that I buy from it are, they have like a shower scrub called Rub, I think it's called, and it smells, honestly, it's the best thing ever, and it is really good. And then I think it's like American something Dream, it's the conditioner, and it smells just like strawberry milkshake or something. That's really nice as
I
well.
need to
Yeah.
try this. I've got my favourites. I get the lip scrub all the time.
Oh yeah, I think I had like, is there a mint one or something maybe?
So I had like a bubblegum one, and then
Yeah.
at the moment I've got a cookie dough one. But it's just like an exfoliator for your lips, but it's just sugar essentially.
Yeah.
You're eating it. And the Karma soap I love. That reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever smelled that.
No.
That reminds me of like being a teenager.
Oh,
Um,
I'm just gonna, yeah, stock up on
I'm gonna,
like
yeah,
Lush
you've
a
made
bit.
me want to like buy loads of stuff from Lush now. I'm
Yeah.
like, and my excuse is going to be it's for my MS because I need to have my
Yeah.
class every morning. So yeah, that's my justification
Well,
for it.
I was like, I always knew I was going to do, because I went pretty hardcore, but we just refitted our bathroom.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
like, oh, just nicely new and decorated. And I was like, I'm going to get a nice little basket or something and then fill it with just like bath bombs and stuff, that when I want to treat myself, I've got something.
yeah, that's cute as fuck. I love it.
Treat yourself.
I think you deserve it, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if, if you're still listening, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a, this is probably just a normal phone call
Yeah.
conversation for us, really, isn't it? But
And about, I'm trying to think of anything else. Like, I think if I start talking, I'll go off on about a million tangents. So we'll save
yeah,
it for next week.
I thought it'd be good to do, because it's kind of like, I don't know, like people listen to us to kind of, I don't know, join in with us, join it. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Oh God,
Yeah, well,
it's all falling apart.
no, because I think it's like obviously we can talk about topics and stuff, but also we do have our own individual lives, and
Yeah,
mine and yours lives are very very different. But obviously,
yeah. And the more people, that's what I'm trying to get to, like different people that listen. So we said like everyone's MS is so individual, but like maybe the like more that we do chat and talk about certain things and just like one-off chit chat podcasts like this, someone out there might be able to relate to one of us
yeah,
and know that they're not alone.
yeah,
That sounds so cheesy, and I'm not sure if I've said it before, but like that honestly is such a big thing for me. Like, I'm going to really quickly tell the story, which I'm really sorry if I already told it, but when I was like first diagnosed in the first year, I read a blog post of this woman who was talking about pee in the bed, and she referred to her husband as like the banker, because she wanted to stay anonymous. So I related to it so much, because obviously me and Frank both work for a bank. Like, I don't know, it was so relatable, and it was like the first thing I'd seen of someone young talking about wetting the bed and bladder issues, and it made me feel so much better that I was like, I don't need to feel ashamed by this. And so it's like, I don't care, as cheesy as it sounds, like, I don't know, I just like it that if people listen, they're like, yeah, you know what they mean. you know?
yeah.
Oh, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Or like when we talk on podcasts like today, oh, we have bad days. Well, yeah, we have bad days too.
Yeah, I think we're both
Yeah.
having a bit of a one today.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's again, I've said this before. Like, it's just when people are just so on, like, you know, I do like a motivational post, don't get me wrong, and like whatever, but actually sometimes, not that it's nice to know that people are struggling at all, like I hate that, but it's like, I don't know, it's
You
just
don't
gives,
feel as alone.
yeah, and it just gives you the space to kind of feel like that yourself as well, because I'm
Mm.
always, I think for me, my whole life, again, it was always like I just had to be fine all the time. And it's
Mm.
like, yeah, I might have swung a little bit further the other way, and at the moment I'm just so not fine, but I'm trying to practice being okay with it, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's quite difficult, but
Yeah.
no, we're not okay.
There's a place for both things, motivation and honesty. I
Yeah,
think the balance of both is good.
yeah, agreed, mate.
And hopefully in how honest we are, it's motivational. Double whammy.
Mate, I can't believe I haven't cried. Look, I brought my toilet roll and everything. This is my
I just,
emotional state at the moment. It's just tears.
yeah.
I've cried already once today. Cried 2 times yesterday.
To be fair, I'm surprised I hadn't today, this morning. I felt quite fragile all day, but now I just feel nothing. Like, you know, like my brain just feels empty.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I
And I'm
get.
gonna ride that wave because
Yeah,
yeah, whatever.
I know. Oh, yeah, I know the feels. It
Mm.
can just. I don't. Yeah, it just swings for me at the moment. So like the times, like you say, like when you're kind of like feeling all right and not an emotional wreck, I'm like, okay, we'll cruise this for a while, like,
Yeah,
because
I'll take this. Yeah.
yeah. But at the same time, also it's all right to be upset, because sometimes it's just a bit shit. And
Oh yeah, like you said, you cried Tuesday. Tuesday, hyperventilating, like full on meltdown tears, like, and I kept going. Like some people say, like have a little cry, pull yourself together. Like yeah, but I cried until I physically like
mm,
couldn't cry anymore
mm-hmm. You
because
like
I
that?
found that if I try cut it off short, it's more likely to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'll spend the whole day feeling teary. Whereas if I just have a good sob until I'm just exhausted and like, you know, that feeling has passed, then I like move on a bit quicker.
Yeah, do you know, yeah, you saying that's made like that's, so I feel like for the past couple of weeks I've been on the verge of tears constantly, and every cry I'm having, it's just like a little bit that I'm letting out.
Yeah,
And actually what I probably need to do is just actually have one of those sob wailing cries, which actually I haven't had for a long time. So maybe I'll schedule one of those in as well later. Ice bath,
yeah,
sobbing cry. That's my to-do list today.
yeah,
And then eat an ice bowl, because
yeah. Sounds good.
it's
Oh, also, what day was it? Last Thursday. Not necessarily. This week's gone so quick. Typically,
yeah.
'cause I'm going back to work next week. But went to sleep. Like I don't know. I wasn't feeling. I don't think I had like the worst and everything. But like not this Thursday, gone the Thursday before. But anyway, went to sleep, fast asleep. Woke up at about 2 a.m. and I was like, I think I'm going to be sick. And I should know by now what this is, but every time I just think, oh, I'm going to be sick, that like, you know, that nervous sort of feeling you get before you throw up. And I was like, oh, I can't really breathe. And then, oh, I hate talking about it because it makes me feel it. So I ran to the bathroom to be sick and just had a full on panic attack out of nowhere. I was fast asleep. I was like, oh, thanks. But by now, I feel like I would recognize that that's what that feeling is. But every single time, I'm just like, oh, I just need to go be sick. And then I'm like dying over the toilet. When actually I could just be, because at that point, I can't move. Whereas I probably should just stay in bed. At least I'll be comfy when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But,
I think we're
but
just
yeah,
bombarded with so many different emotions,
yeah,
sensations, like all
yeah,
the time, and we're constantly trying to
yeah,
have to like
yeah.
segment
That's
them.
why I'm adding it in
Oh,
because like we can't stress enough. Like it is a roller coaster. Like from 5 years, whatever, however long you've been diagnosed, like don't ever get to the point where you feel like, oh, why am I having a emotionally bad day, or why have I got such bad anxiety? Why am I having panic attack? Like you will. Like I go through waves of being like, no, I'm totally fine, to waking up at 2 a.m. to have a panic attack for no apparent reason. You know, there's nothing on my mind. Well, obviously there's all this going on, but there wasn't anything keeping me up. To then having a sob, to then just being a bit like, meh, today. But then maybe like tomorrow I might be like, you know, really happy. Like it is just
that, and
like Kat Nelson would say, your feelings are valid.
your feelings are valid, mate. And I always feel like, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of the times at the moment with my writing, I'm writing a lot about my grief, which is just something because it's just a topic that's on my mind, and I just write when I randomly feel like it. So, and I feel like it's like that I'm being so like, oh my God, I'm in the depths of despair 1 minute, and then the next minute I'm like, oh, I'm okay, I'm going having a little day out or whatever. But actually that is literally what it's like, and it will just fluctuate massively. And yeah.
And that's hard for people on the outside to understand, I
Oh
think.
my, yeah, because it just doesn't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it, I don't think, to be honest, if I wasn't living it, because it's like, how can I go from being sobbing in my bedroom in the morning to being laughing my head off in the evening and being really silly and like my normal self?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's almost like, I think we've talked about this before as well. It's like we get like, whatever we do, someone's gonna have an opinion on it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It is a roller coaster, but it's normal and it's okay. And I'll say it again, don't ever feel bad about.
It's literally the name of our podcast, What a Mess.
Well, yeah, I was thinking, do you know, mate, I was thinking that.
I don't know whether that actually like, what's the word, like highlighted that is what it is, what a mess.
Yeah, and that's why it was such a suitable name. Like because I remember trying to come up with a name, and I was like, I was thinking about mess and MS, and I was like, trying to figure, and it was actually Izzy that came up with it, my friend, and she was like, what about what a mess? And I was like, that is literally perfect. Because
when you told me it, I was like, my mum was like, she's a fucking genius. I was like, this is incredible. Well, I loved it.
I have to give credit to Izzy for that, because she put the final piece of the puzzle into place. But yeah, that is literally what it's like. It's yeah,
mess.
Yeah. And
sometimes it's a hot mess, sometimes it's a fun mess. I don't know. Yeah. It is what it is. Oh, I don't even know what that's from. Frank, like, he always says that, like, not in a serious way, is like in an annoying way. He's always like, it is what it is. Like, I don't even know what that is. That he's like quoting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Keon's been saying that to me as well.
What is it then? Honestly, like, if we say something just in any context about anything, and then if one of us will just go, oh, it is what it is, he'll just go, it is what it is. I'm just like, what even is that? Yeah, I find myself doing it now and I don't even know what it is.
It is what it is.
If anyone listening knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Maybe it's like a game or something. I don't know where it comes from.
I don't know either. Anyway.
It is what it is. But yeah, I think, is that everything we've really, there's nothing really.
Yeah.
There's anything else going on.
I'm gonna go lie in a cool bath, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that in your honour, mate. Yeah. I've got some ice, actually. I might sprinkle some ice in the bath. I've actually got a Lush bath one, which I might even treat myself to.
I haven't opened all mine up yet. It smells so good, the parcel.
Amazing, isn't it? Have you ever had the snow fairy? They only bring it out at Christmas.
No, I don't think I have. I know what you're talking about though, but I don't think I've ever had it.
It's the best one. I'm gonna get you some this Christmas, because it's like they only do it at Christmas, and I get it every year, and it's like, I don't know, you smell like a princess.
I'm gonna do like a full-on review of all these bath bombs. It might not be the content that people signed up for on my channel, but it's the content that I want.
Hey, I'm here for it. I am here for it.
I'm reviewing bath bombs in mildly warm water. I hope they dissolve the same. They should do, shouldn't they?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'll be so disappointed if I drop it in and it just like hits the bottom. Oh man.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Well, you have to keep me updated. I look forward to your update.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't even know how long we've been going. Probably about an hour. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, probably about that.
But yeah.
Cool.
We'll come up with an actual topic for next week, but
yeah, we'll see. We might have our shit together a bit more next week.
Yeah.
Maybe. No promises.
Cheers out. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for listening.
Bye.
And we will speak to you soon.
I was a bit premature then. Bye.
Bye. Bye guys.